Good morning, you joined me down at Welham Lakes this morning. Lovely mirror to start the morning off, just as the sun's just about to break through the fog this morning. Lovely fish, probably a lower double, caught up towards the island. We had 6 fish in total last night and then this one this morning. Lost a couple during the night to the close pads in, but yeah, the session's definitely looking like it's going to be a good one. Got 2 nights left ahead, 2 full days, so yeah, let's get this rod back in and hopefully we'll get a few more fish. Well, good morning. As you've seen last night, we've had quite a few fish. We got here yesterday about dinner time. I had a walk up and down lake. There were a couple of lads on explaining there's been a few fish showing mid-water. So I hung about for about an hour before I got all tackle out at van. I had a walk up and down the bank. Saw a few fish showing, a few fish sticking their heads out in around the middle of the lake. So we got the gear out the van, got down here, managed to get set up for about 3 o'clock, rods out, in first hour straight into a fish, and then it's pretty much been clockwork since then. We've been getting fish about every 2 hours, 2.5 hours, all producing from all 3 spots, going with the same tactic, just fishing a single 15mm wafter, cast up far margin, as tight as I can get to it, putting a few baits out into stick, maybe 10-15 baits, different sizes, 18s, 15s, 12s, all in around the spot, just spreading that bait, getting those fish moving, and that's what's been producing the bites. Throughout the night we've been catching quite a few fish. Like I say, it's been like clockwork. Every 2.5 hours we've been getting a fish, and they seem to have moved from the left hand rod right across down into the shallower water during the night, and then they've started coming back up, and we started getting takes again from the right hand rod, moving back up to the middle rod. So I'm expecting left rod to go anytime soon. They seem to be moving up and down the water. Plenty of fish showing last night, crashing pretty much all the way across the lake, not really stacked up in one area. There were a few more fish showing up in the pads, but I wouldn't really want to be fishing up there in the night time. It's quite close to it's quite snaggy up that end, so I wouldn't like to be thinking that I'm fishing in them snags with 3 rods, especially on a night. I prefer to fish up there in daytime if I am going to have a move up there, but the fish have been coming quite regular, so I think we're going to stay here for now, see how the session progresses. Biggest fish so far has been £20 common, a little bit of an old warrior, bit battered, bit mouth bit like a parrot, but other than that all the other fish have been absolutely pristine. Lovely little mirror carp this morning, about £15, really nice fish, scale perfect, but we've got that one back, just got the rod back out. So yeah, with how I've been fishing, I'm pretty much expecting to be getting another fish soon. But yeah, we'll see how the morning progresses. It's still early doors, sun's not even broken through the fog yet from last night, really thick fog, couldn't see through to get the rods back out. And like a rookie, I'd not even done my wrap, so I just had to fish mid-water last night and I was still catching fish even by just flicking singles out. So yeah, they seem to definitely be on the feed, and yeah, hopefully the next couple of days will produce a few more fish. Well, finally got another one. The bites went quiet for a while and the fish just weren't feeding on the spots, so I thought I'd go and have a walk round. Found a few fish feeding in the corner and put a little bit of bait in, and they started bubbling on it, so I dropped a rod, and in less than 10 minutes managed to get this little common. Nothing massive, but a well-earned fish, and happy to keep fish coming up bank even during the day. So yeah, we'll get this back, see if there's any more stalking opportunities. If not, we're going to go back round in about an hour and get the rods back out for tonight and hopefully get some more fish. Right, well, I've just got back from stalking. I caught a little common. It was only just over £12. I've come back round now, get ready to get rods out for tonight. It's only about 2 o'clock, but yesterday I had my first fish at 3 o'clock after putting rods out at 2. So I want to try and get rods back out in this position and get them set ready for the night ahead. While I was doing that, I thought I'd just run through what I was fishing on. And it's a simple setup, what I use for 99% of my fishing. About 2 or 3 foot tubing, tungsten tubing, just so it sits nice and flush on bottom, gives fish a little bit of protection, and also if there's any snags or anything like that, it's just going to give the line a little bit of protection as well. Just a simple drop off lead system, same as anything. Normally what I do is I cut this clip back a little bit, just so if we do get into any snags, that just comes off a lot easier. Then just an anti-tangle sleeve and literally the basic of rigs. I literally just using a sort of a blowback setup, about 6 or 7 inches of coated braid with a little section on it, just so that it's, if I show you that, just so as it's got a bit of play in it as it's moving. Little kicker, and then just a little shrink tubing. I like to have quite a bit of room between my hair and on my hair, between my hook and my boilie, and that's just a little 15mm wafter, it's a chunky monkey wafter, and then all I'm doing is I'm just putting about 10 baits, 15 baits in over the top, quite tight in a little PVA bag, and then I'm just putting about another 10 or 15 baits over the top of it with throwing stick, and pretty much fishing the same setup on every single rod. It's what I fish for 90% of my fishing anywhere I go, unless I'm fishing in weed and I need to fish pop-ups on a chod rig or something like that. 99% of my fishing is literally this setup, just basic fishing, and then I just chop and change my baiting approach depending on the venue and depending on the time of the year, how much I'm putting in. I'm not using much here. I do like to go quite heavy on the bait, but I know that I can get away with fishing for a bite at a time here. I don't need to keep the fish in the area. They're pretty much held up in this middle section of water anyway. So we're going to get this all set up, get all 3 rods back out on the spots. I'll run through spots a bit later on in session. We've still got another 2 nights left yet, so it's still early days. Up to 8 fish now, dropped a couple. We're testing a few different hooks out from a different company. I just kept dropping fish, so I changed back over to my normal hooks, and I haven't dropped a fish since, fingers crossed. So yeah, we're on 8 fish now, biggest being a 20-pound common. Had a couple of nice scaly mirrors out. Hopefully we can get into something just a little bit bigger, but if not, we're happy to keep plodding along, catching a few fish, and yeah, see how the session progresses. Well, we've been back about 2 hours, got rods back out on the spot. Just sat down watching water, no fish showing, no bubbling. Been quite warm today. I was expecting it to maybe go a little bit later on, just before dark. But no, we managed this fish. Nice mirror, off far margin again. Exact same tactics. Just as I was sitting down for dinner. Really lovely fish. Old mirror, probably one of the original fish. Really nice. So yeah, we'll get this weighed, get it back. Well, what about that for a bar of gold? Really nice fish, and lovely colours on it. His tail's a bit battered, but it's really nice and dark. Lovely fish, caught from far margin again. Literally just as I put the other fish back, just sat down to carry on finishing cooking my dinner, this one ripped off. Exact same tactic, just fishing on a wafter, single wafter, and then just throwing a few freebies in over the top of it. Probably going to introduce a little bit more bait now. Now I know that they're definitely on spots. That's 2 nights in a row that they started feeding, and we've not even lost sunlight yet. So I'll probably start introducing a little bit more bait tonight. Now I know that they're there and they're getting the reds down, and yeah, hopefully tonight should bring quite a few more fish. Since it's daylight hours, I thought I'd just get this one up. I've just been putting these ones back during night last night, but I thought I'd just hold it up with it being daylight and having a bit of light to play with. I've got another one in net as well, mirror carp, a little bit bigger. So we'll get this one back, we'll get that one out and get some more. Well, another gem from the lake. What a lovely mirror once again. Caught from far margin, exact same rod, literally just been out. It's 5 fish in the space of an hour now. They're really switching on feed. And as soon as I get this rod back in, I'm just putting bait straight back in over at top at spot. And the bites just keep coming. There's a few fish crashing just outside of one at spots as well. And they're really active, and they seem to be on feed. I'll just spin it round and get the other side. What a lovely fish. I haven't weighed it yet, not sure on size. Biggest fish we've had so far has been a 20. I don't think this is. Probably an upper double. So we'll get it weighed, we'll get it back, get rod back on spot, and hopefully we'll catch some more. Put some more bait in. I thought I'd run you through baiting approach for this session. Once I got in, I found my spots. I didn't want to put too much bait in straight away. There had been a few previous anglers on in this area, so I didn't know how much bait that they'd already applied. So when I got here, I put around 10-15 boilies over each spot, just put it out with throwing stick, and then when I cast in, I put a little PVA mesh bag on with probably around another 10 baits on. So there were quite a few spread around, and then a little pile of bait as well, just with a few mouthfuls for carp. And then as the sessions progressed, I started adding a little bit more bait and a little bit more bait. So now I'm adding around 50 baits per fish, and it just keeps them bites coming in. I've just had five fish in the last hour, so it's definitely showing that the fish are in the area and that they're getting the reds down on that bait. So yeah, we're going to get some more bait out now over all 3 rods, as we've just had every single rod go, and I've just shown you all those fish. So we're going to get this back out now. All rods are back in place, ready for the night ahead. We're going to get some more bait in, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more fish. Well, I've got a minute. I thought I'd show you the lake. We're about halfway down it. really nice old estate lake. I've got full lake to myself this weekend, so I'm pretty lucky. Nobody else has been down to fish it yet, so we've got quite a good shot within reason of the most of the lake. There's quite a few lily beds around, so we don't want to be fishing at too much distance, just so that we can get them fishing safely. So the left hand rod is up to this bush here, so we've got just here, just off the side of this bush, we've got one rod there. Then the middle rod, if you can just see round about here, where we've got a little tree stump that's been cut down. We've got one rod in there, and then over this side there's like a bed of lily pads here, and then there's a bit of an island with an old building on it just on the corner of here. I don't want to be fishing right in these lily pads, just so that in the middle of the night, if I do get a fish, it's not going in. I am fishing locked up anyway, and pretty much sat on top of the rods during the night, but I'm fishing just in front of this island so that the fish can't kite enough to get into those pads, and that I can get that fishing safely. So they're the 3 spots. All spots are producing, having pretty much even amount of fish over each area. So we're just going to keep going with the approach that we're doing, and then probably tomorrow we'll get back into doing a little bit more stalking. I'll put a bit more bait in this afternoon, let them fish feed in that area and get the confidence up, and then tomorrow, once the bites slow down from the middle side of the lake, we'll probably go back down that side and try and get a few out of the shallows. Right then, it's just dropped dark. Managed first run in the dark. Lovely common carp. Absolutely scale perfect, pretty much like most of the fish I've been. A few have had a little bit of tail damage, but other than that, pretty much been scale perfect. Really good condition, put up a great fight. Once again, off a far margin rod. So yeah, let's get it back and hopefully we can get a few more tonight. Well, look at this gnarly old warrior. I bet this one can tell a tale or two. Absolute beautiful fish. Got so much characteristics on it. Really lovely. So get it up and show it other side as well. Oh, pretty similar on both sides. Got the smallest tail ever. Oh, what a beauty. I haven't weighed it yet, but I'm sure it'll make a 20-pounder. Absolute stunning fish. Let's get this one weighed, get it back. Right, well, another fish. It's a little bit slower than last night, but fish are still steadily coming every couple of hours. It's not even gone midnight yet, we've still had quite a few fish. Nice common again, off the farthest spot right, which is pretty much as they're working their way up for night into the top corner at lake. So yeah, hopefully we'll still have a few more during the night, but we'll get this one back, and yeah, hopefully we'll bag up a few more. Well, look at that, what a lovely carp. Really nice scale pattern on it. This is just turned into a great session. I've had a few more of the commons, but I've just unhooked them and slipped them back, and then I've just landed this lovely fish. It's going to be pushing on 20 pound, might just scrape 20 pound. Really nice fish. So yeah, it's pristine condition, same as all the other ones. Once again, caught from far margin, exact same tactics. This time to a different rod, to the right hand rod. So a few fish are starting to come to the other spots again, same as the previous night. So hopefully we can keep with the baiting approach, and we can keep on catching these fish. Well, this lake's just been so kind to me this session. Yet again, another mirror carp, pushing upper doubles. Really nice fish. Every single fish out of here has been really nice. Caught to a middle rod this time, the one that's done pretty much most of the fish. Yet again, I've had another common between the last mirror and this one. It were only about 9 pounds, so I slipped that one back. Got rod straight back on spot. Weather just seems to be taking a turn now, getting a little bit of rain. It won't forecast, so I can't see it lasting very long. But we'll get this one weighed, and then we'll get it back out. Right, morning again. Last night was quite productive. I would say not as productive as the previous night, but we had quite a big weather change. Still, we managed a couple of 20 pounders, and overall fish is just over 20 fish what we've had now. The first night when we got here, and since we've been here, it's just been dead calm late. There's been no wind on it. We've had no rain. It's been quite mild, and then yesterday throughout the day it was pretty warm. And then last night we were getting a few fish. Most of them seemed to be coming from the middle rod. We had a couple on the right hand rod, nothing at all on the left, so I'm not sure if they're moving up that side of the lake, so we might have to have a look at maybe having a move later on if the fish are going up that way, and we'll move up the lake with them. But yeah, last night we had a bit of rain for, I'd say, maybe 3 or 4 hours. Only a light little bit of rain, but it seems to have cooled that water temperature down a little bit. I know when I got up at first light this morning at lake, there was no steam coming off the lake like night before. There wasn't really that heat coming up off the lake, and there's also a northerly wind on, so that could be maybe putting them off a little bit. But yesterday the last bite come around 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I did manage one a little bit later on by going and stalking one out. So there's still some potential if we get some rods and maybe go for a walk round, maybe bait a few areas and try and stalk one out and get one that way. That's probably the best way that we're going to get a fish during the day, I think. I don't think they're really getting the heads down unless we can find a few that are feeding. So that's probably going to be a plan of attack. Probably going to get some breakfast, look at bringing rods in maybe about 10, 11 o'clock once I'm happy that they're definitely not on spots anymore, and then we're probably going to have a shoot round, get a few areas baited up, and then take a rod round and possibly try and get a fish that way, and then decide on the action that we're going to take for tonight, whether we're going to come back in this swim, because I still did have a few fish out, or whether we're maybe going to move into another swim. But if it's like yesterday, all the way through the day there were no fish showing whatsoever. All the fish were only showing during the night, and the fish that was crashing out last night was right on top of me. They were all in front of this mid volume of water, whereas the previous night they were a bit further up the lake. So yeah, I'm not too sure on what to do tonight. I might just give it a couple of hours in here once it drops dark, and then if I not have out, maybe make a move after dark and get onto fish that way. But yeah, for now I think we're just going to get some breakfast, go try and get some spots working, and try and get a fish out that way. And yeah, we'll keep you up to date if we get any more fish. Right, look at that for a beautiful fish. Nice ghost carp, probably only a single figure or low double fish, but yeah, well deserved. I've been down other end stalking, not really seen anything, and some were absolutely blaring in this corner pretty much most of the afternoon, so I thought I'd come up here, put a little bit of bait in about an hour ago, and I got the rods, come back up. I've literally been here, I'd say less than 5 minutes, and rods ripped off. And what an absolutely beautiful carp. This lake just keeps producing one after another, and yeah, they just keep getting better and better. So we'll get this back. I'm going to have another half an hour, 45 minutes in this area, and just see if we can get another fish, as I baited 2 spots up. But yeah, what a beauty. Come round onto point swim. I didn't really see any fish showing, but they have been showing up here the last couple of days. Put a rod out, yet again within 5 minutes, rod's ripped off. So it just shows once you can find the fish, you can pretty much guarantee to get them straight away. About 5 or 6 boilies in over the top of the swim, and yeah, straight into a fish. So we'll get this back, and we'll got about an hour a daylight left, try and stalk another one out before we're getting rods out for night. So yeah, we'll get this back and we'll keep on trying. Well, no longer than 5 minutes after that last fish, got another mirror carp off exact same spot. I am fishing 2 rods down here in these pads on point swim, but it's the same rod gone again, literally in 5 minutes of putting it out. Just shows no point of being sat behind rods not fishing. You might as well get out and try and find those fish, get a few baits on them, and you can change your session completely. So yeah, lovely mirror, get this one back and hopefully get some more. Just to update you, we've actually moved swims. I stuck in the other swim that we fished for the last 2 nights till about 9:30, and the fish just weren't there. We weren't having any liners, no fish were showing. I heard a few fish crashing up here, so I've moved up into a car park swim. And yeah, I'm not even set bivvy up yet. I literally put these 3 rods out. I just opened brolly system up, and this middle rod ripped off. I'm up towards the pad. I'm not fishing actually up to the pads. I'm in that sort of area, but I'm fishing back down the lake on myself, back towards the island. And this is where this one's just come from. basically on the opposite side of the island to where I was fishing. So the fish have just moved down. I think they've pushed down with that wind earlier on today. But yeah, what a fish. So yeah, could hopefully get into a few more by this move, and yeah, we'll see what the night brings. Right, second fish at the new swim. Again, another common, nice size, probably pushing on 20 pounds, same as the other one. Really nice fish. They all put up a good battle in here. They're very strange. They seem to run into the margin very quick and then play under the rod tip and keep going round in circles. But yeah, really nice fish. So we'll get this back and well, move's definitely paid off. Third fish now since we've had a move. Really long, lean common. Really absolute scale perfect. Put up a great fight, probably the best fight that we've had since we've been here. Just been a great session. So yeah, we're getting into it probably a couple of hours before it gets light, and then we're having to stalk a few fish out once it gets light. So yeah, we'll gonna recast our rods, I think, just try and optimise them chances of getting a fish, and yeah, we'll get this one back, and hopefully there'll be still be a few more to come. Well, what a session it's turned out to be. Literally, I had a run about 10-15 minutes ago, got a little common, put rod straight back out on spot, got this mirror, put up a real good account for itself. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than what it was when it rolled over at net cord, but even at that I'm still well happy with this fish. So the move's definitely paid off now. 5 fish from the move, and daylight's just about to start breaking through shortly, next half an hour, 40 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this rod back out, because I think the fish are definitely feeding more during the night-time spell. So we're going to get this rod back out, and hopefully we can nick another one before it gets light. Not the biggest, but first early morning bite. I've been struggling since first light come up to try and get a fish. Been seeing fish bubbling, and I've been trying to get rods onto them, not putting much bait in, just 3 or 4 boilers up at top, and really been struggling. But just out margin to right hand side. I put a rod in, put a bit of bait in there yesterday when I was doing a bit of stalking, put a rod in this morning, and yeah, it's finally gone. I just stood watching it bubbling up, thinking how was that rod not gone, and then it ripped off. So yeah, we've finally managed to get a morning bite, only a small common, pretty similar stamp to what I've been getting through night that I haven't really been showing. I've just been unhooking and putting back. But yeah, other than that, it's still looking good for a bite. That sun's just not quite breaking through them clouds, and there's a little bit of wind on water, so hopefully we might be able to steal another one out before we finish the session. But we'll get this one back, get that rod back on that spot, because I can see them behind camera now. They're still bubbling on that spot, so there's definitely a chance for another one. And then, again, not a massive fish, but another one stalked from the same spot. Rod's literally been in 15 minutes and it's gone again. So I think I'm going to move one of the other rods over towards that same sort of area, up towards the pads, just fishing with it locked up, so as soon as it whips round I'm straight on the rod. I'm just sat literally behind the rod. But yeah, it's resulted in another fish, another sketchy battle, trying to keep it out of them pads. So yeah, we'll get this one back, and we'll get rods back out for the last couple of hours. Right, still another small one. I'm just getting them from down the near margin up towards the pads, really tight in, and yeah, they just keep coming every maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. I kept getting liners, and I wasn't picking up any fish, so I just brought rod in. I thought there was something not right. There were a few bubblers coming up, and yeah, lo and behold, it had a bit of leaf debris on it. So I put that back out, and literally in 5 minutes it's ripped off again. I've just lost a fish to far side as well. I felt like an heavy fish. I know we always say that, but it was really just plodding along, and yeah, caught me up to an underwater snag on the far side and cut me off. But yeah, we've got them rods back out as well, so we'll get this back as it's getting towards the end of the session, and want to maximise that time to try and keep them coming.